Hey, how's it going everyone? RJ here. Welcome back to the channel. So the OnePlus 11 finally got Android version 14. It's on Oxygen OS 14.0 and on the November security patch. Now I was planning on doing a video behind the camera giving you the details of the new update on what it changed on the OnePlus 11. However, I updated it and in my typical fashion did not take screenshots of what it changed and what it added, prior to updating it. So I got to kind of dig around and try to find that before I do a video behind the camera. If you want to see that, let me know. If you even really care about seeing the new features, which there's really not many that I can really see that you can really see, as far as a lot of it's like internal stuff or whatever. But anyway, so the OnePlus 11, still, in my opinion, one of the most underrated, looked over flagships of 2023. This has been a great phone. This is a legitimate flagship phone, regardless if someone wants to agree with that or not. It runs the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 octa-core processor. It's got 16 gigabytes of RAM. It's got the Hasselblad cameras back here. It's got a very beautiful display. And it's just a really good phone, other than this nasty crack that happened 4 days after I got it. It just kind of spontaneously cracked. Have no idea, and that's going to really affect the trade-in when the OnePlus 12 comes out, which is very, very unfortunate. But that's just the way it goes. OnePlus refused to do anything about it, so there we go. But off of that. So Android version 14 on the OnePlus 11. This is going to be just my opinion on how it's doing after the update. If there's any bugs, any issues that I've encountered with this phone since the update. And I will say that, overall, not much changes, okay? This is still a beast when it comes to performance. A very good performing phone. It's always been very fast, very fluid, no matter what you're doing, web browsing, playing games, going through social media apps, whatever you're doing. This phone was able to do it with ease and with very good battery life. Now, after Android 14, I'm guessing that Oxygen OS 14, I know was on Oxygen OS 13 before the update. So just kind of leave that there at the moment. But my experience has been overall good. Now, we know sometimes whenever you go from like Android 12, 13, 14, it does kind of mess up a little bit and have some bugs, a few issues. And I have seen a few of those here in the OnePlus 11. So hopefully some updates and maybe some of the apps, stuff like that, maybe some future updates will fix some of the problems. But I would say if you're just browsing social media, if you're going through your day-to-day usage using this phone on Android version 14, you won't experience much difference. However, battery life has dropped. And, with a new version of, Android, sometimes it will affect battery life, making you go in there like you did when you first got it, and it has to relearn your usage patterns. So I'm kind of looking at that before I pass judgment on battery life. Secondly, and this is more important, is dealing with web browsing. And used to, I get on this phone, the other day I was on a mobile carrier looking at the coverage map, and it took an unbearably long amount of time, and it just froze. I would refresh it, it would freeze. It felt like a 6-year-old phone running on, a slow version of 3G. It was that bad. Okay, it was just, it drove me crazy to the point where I had to put the phone down and use another phone. But it was really bad. Scrolling was very choppy. And I've only noticed that on web browsing. Now, it has gotten better. I've had the update now for several days. Not really sure when I got the update, but I had it for several days now. And to be honest, it has gotten better. In the App Store, Chrome is updated and stuff like that. This was before I had an update to Chrome. So I got tested out after the update and everything. But as far as getting on Twitter, getting on Instagram, getting on YouTube and scrolling, there's been no issues, okay? Everything's been fine. Everything's been quick, fast, and fluid. But in web browsing, I have noticed a significant drop in performance. But like I say, they could all come from needing an update, to the apps, for Android 14. But, you know, that's the only problems I have experienced so far with Android version 14 on the OnePlus 11. Now, I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with the OnePlus 12 with the new processor, because I know people don't want to admit it, but OnePlus does do everything well. It's very fast, very fluid, it's very underrated and very slept on in my personal opinion, but still a really good phone, and I really enjoy using this phone. I've used this phone longer than I have the majority of phones that I have in my catalog here, because it's just that dadgum good, and I really do like this phone. So, you know, I can only imagine that the Android, that OnePlus 12 on 14 should be very, very good with the 8 Gen 3 and all that kind of good stuff. But this phone here is still a really good phone. It undercuts the majority, if not all, of the flagship phones out there today. And it's very comfortable. 80-watt charging with a charger in the box. We can all know where that's going. So I would say, you know, there is a few other things, like, you know, that's kind of a nitpick, kind of an annoyance, but nothing that's really worth talking about right here in front of the camera. It's got to more or less be shown behind the camera. That's why I say, if you want to see a different video where I'm behind the camera showing you everything, let me know down below in the comment section if you want to see that. But other than that, I'm gonna cut this video short here. So just my overall first take here of Android version 14 on the OnePlus 11. You know, I gave you, you know, it works good overall. Chrome has some issues with, you know, it was very choppy and just got frozen and wouldn't do anything. And so that was kind of annoying, but hopefully that'll get fixed here soon with some updates. So that's all I want to say about it. Still a great phone, highly recommended. Even now, I recommend this phone over the majority of a lot of other phones that are, you know, in the flagship territory here in 2023 because of the price of this phone. It's an unbelievably good price, and it gives you unbelievable, you know, performance, and battery life is fantastic. And it's just crazy how this phone is so overlooked here in, again, 2023. So that's all I want to say about it. If it's helpful informative in any way, hit that like button. Any questions you may have, leave it down below. And if you're new here and not a subscriber, please consider subscribing and press that bell for post notifications. Future videos coming out soon, and I'd appreciate it. Y'all have a good one, and thanks for watching.